Yo, I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you. Oh, I had the time of my life, and I with me, woo. And I swear this is true, and I owe it all to you. Oh, I. What's up, yo? I have a lot of energy right now. I don't know if you can tell. I might be a little high on sugar right now. Howdy. Um. So today in this one on Custom Girl 420. I don't know if you guys remember that YouTube channel. I don't know if they're still up, but today on the Panda YouTube channel music production series. I didn't post last week. I kind of took a break. I recently quit my window job. Fuck that job. Uh, no, they were cool people. I got the job when I needed it the most, but they were taking up my weekends, and I just kind of started building a lot of resentment, and my performance there started dropping a lot low. So I just kind of like didn't care about it anymore. And then one day they sent me the wrong address, and then they kind of got mad at me for going to the wrong address. So then I was like, you know what? Fuck this place. I don't need it. So yeah, I just quit it. And so I'm back. I was only gone for a week. But in that week, I dropped a single called LA's on Fire. And a little backstory for that song, because we're going to be working on that song today. I was making it, and LA was on fire. Let me see if my camera. Oh shoot, you guys can see I'm in my underwear right now. But LA was on fire when I was making it, and literally, I moved out. I told you guys last time that I was living in my car, and then I got my own apartment, and then I've been living here for a little over a month now. But when the fires started happening, one of the fires, it wasn't one of the big ones, but one of the fires was a Sunset Fire, and my apartment it's 2 blocks away from the evacuation zone from the Sunset Fire. And the Sunset Fire started a lot later in the day. So like the Palisade Fire was starting, that was the big one. That is the big one. And then the Elton Fire, then the one in Pasadena, and then there's one in the San Fernando Valley. Shout out to my homies over there. But then later in the day it was the Sunset Fire, and I was 2 streets away from the evacuation zone, so I was just staying up all night working on music, which is how I made LA's on Fire. And I named it that, and I sung the lyrics to LA's on Fire because LA's on fire at the time. LA's on fire all the time, but of course this is definitely one of the worst ones. And at the time, I've always made music from getting away from my stress, releasing stress, and just trying to make something that I enjoy and all that kind of stuff. And it was one of my first songs to actually get me canceled. When I say canceled, it was air quotes, because only let's say 10, 15 people were like, hey bro, you shouldn't be posting music right now. And I'm sorry, I was just making music because that's something you could do, so I had to stay up somehow, and I was just gonna work on some music. It definitely was on a touchy topic, and I'm sorry. Art imitates life, and maybe I could have been a little bit more, I could have handled it a lot or done it differently or something. I don't know. I never I don't think I'm a politician, and I don't know if you're getting your politics from me, and if you're getting your view if I'm doing the right thing or wrong thing from me, then you're getting it from the wrong person, because I am not that guy. I just want to make music, and I'm sorry if I put out a song that offended you. It wasn't my intention. That being said, today I have LA's on Fire. We're gonna keep working on it. For the most part, it's done. I've noticed the version that I have on my computer, the bass and the drum, the bottom ends of my instruments, and the bass and sub, they sound too cleanly separated. So we gotta dirty it up a little bit. the main thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna fix this like middle region that like I feel like could blend more better. We're also gonna the song's already mixed, so I'm essentially gonna keep mixing it, and then by the end of this, we're gonna master it, and hopefully this version of the master is the official master. For the past couple videos, I've been turning off my mic and using my speakers. So today I'm gonna be going back and forth between that. Yeah. So I don't know how I plan. I mean, you guys seen my videos already. The people that have watching, so it's kind of just like let's see how it goes. But today is definitely gonna be one of those. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I go by Jose the Panda. Please leave a comment. I definitely reply to all my comments. And please like the video and subscribe. Excuse me. And let's get into it. But yeah, so I'm gonna switch to my computer view. I was planning to start live streaming this, but it is what it is. We're gonna pull up the project right now. LA's on fire. I'm gonna play out the song so you guys can hear it, and then we'll get into it after that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we'll get into it after that. So just give me a second while it loads. Yeah. So and then give me a second. Oh yeah, you guys can hear it. Cool. LA is on fire. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The song. So we're gonna what am I thinking of? That's LA on Fire. Right now everything's kind of color coded and everything's kind of separated the way I normally do my songs. Normally when I make a song, um, so this is like my party structure. Depending on like what the song is and what the song needs, I would kind of like depend on dictates how I'm gonna structure the song. This is definitely like a party song. Although like it was made when it was on fire. It definitely the attention of it is so I could DJ it. So if I like loop this section up here, this is a DJable intro. At least for me, I mainly focus this so I could DJ the songs. I don't really care about if anyone else is trying to DJ it. I know my structure. I know how I tend to like, you know, I know how to DJ into my own songs. So this is the structure work best for me. Normally I have an 8 bar loop that I could on the CDJs or whatever. I'll set this loop. I'll loop this in while I DJ it, which is pretty much just the drums and percussive elements, a little bit of like impacts and swells and stuff like that. But if I had to make a radio version of this song, the song will start here, and it'll like build on. And if I had to export this to Spotify, I'll start the song here. And then yeah, that's where the song mainly starts, and it builds into this first drop, which is fire. And then after the first drop, we have this section, which is kind of similar to the beginning, and it has more energy than this section, less energy than the drop, and I'll show you guys what it sounds like right now. The reason why I structure my songs like this is because this section right here, it definitely is, that's where the drop is happening. I have the synths, the guitars playing, I have the sound effect and then my impacts and all that kind of stuff. But then on the next section, this part right here, it still has a higher energy, like the drop, but certain elements of the drop is gone. Like the guitar is no longer playing. We're hearing this piano. I bring in the synth. I kind of like destroyed it in the sense of like you can't really make out what it's playing anymore. If I had to put a vocal, what I would do for the song, besides the LA is on fire, was I'll put a vocal like during this section, and then I'll put another vocal during this section right here, and then I'll play with it and make a build up right here, kind of like what I did, and then maybe a vocal at the end, maybe if it needs it, but this song definitely doesn't need it. This track doesn't need it as much either. This song is just supposed to be, this song shouldn't be as serious as it's becoming. This is like something that I probably would have made and never really made another look. But the song actually, because of the controversy it has caused for me, people are actually asking me to play it when I'm out. So it's like, oh snap, this song actually has become slightly more than I intended it to be, which is always cool. You never know what songs are the songs that resonate with people, and this is a song that I made because I just had to stay up. I had to stay up and make music, and this is what I made, and I'm grateful that it's resonating with people, and it's definitely starting conversations, and maybe not all conversations are positive, but I'm not the one that's trying to give a definitive answer on like what the conversation should be about. But the fact that people are talking is amazing, and and if a song could do that, then that's amazing. But definitely not to this song's not causing conversations to the scales that it's not making national headlines. It's just my friend groups fighting each other, but it's cool. They not really like, they're all cool people. Like I definitely. They're definitely cool people, and the people that understand me, they definitely understand that like this is just, they understand the context of it, and especially when I start telling people the context of why I made the song, and then the stuff I also did to give like a platform for people who need help during the fires. Like I feel like it kind of justified itself and all that kind of stuff. But besides all that political stuff, this is the drum line. So all this blue stuff, I'm gonna solo it. This is my drums. This is the drums. So how the drums kind of progress is that in the beginning you have this. Oh, I found this sample somewhere, and I have it panning from headphone to headphone. Yeah, it used to sound a lot different, and I kind of like made it more tighter by going in here and doing this, and I did that to the original, then I froze it, and then I did all that, and then so for the first drop, it's actually not in there, and it doesn't come back until like the next drop. I feel like right now my drums sound separated from my elements, from my instruments. So if I play the instruments, it sounds so melodically and beautiful.
Fire. LA is on fire.
I feel like this needs the vocal needs an EQ.
Fire. 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 LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
Yeah, this sounds so clean and polished. And then for some right now, it's weird because like I feel like it does sound clean at moments, and then there's moments where I feel like it doesn't. They're not really blending as clean as I want to. So what I've done already, so if I kind of collapse all these that we don't need right now, these vocals, I feel like they still could be blended better with the drums. So by muting what we don't need these effects right now. We don't need the impact. So it's just the vocals and the drums. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a section where I feel like the drums are kind of like at the most. Yeah, this section's good.
LA is on fire.
So I'm gonna go get a Pro Q3, and I'm gonna call this drums. And then if I go to my vocals and I throw a Pro Q3 2, Cool. So first thing we're gonna look at is my drums and the vox. One thing I kind of see is that the vocals right here are trying to peek out, and if I kind of mute this, there's a lot of, you can kind of see like the vocals are peaking, but there's also a lot of high end right here. So we could pull it back a little bit, maybe dynamically compress it too.
LA is on fire.
Okay. That just gives a little bit room to the vocal, so my drums are kind of playing a little bit more better together. Let's see what we could do in this mid range. Maybe we could keep the mid range, and maybe we have to take a little bit off the vocals, but we'll see first. Right now, where the vocals and the drums kind of overlap, I feel like maybe we could pull a little bit down on the. Yeah. Excuse me.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
Yeah, that sounds a lot. It just kind of like, although maybe it didn't do a huge change, it's a slight change to bring them closer together. And a bunch of these little like tactics like that goes a long way to make the track sound a lot more together. I noticed that my hi-hat, the rides, they're crazy loud. And even when I listen to them in like different settings, I kind of want this initial hi-hat to be a lot quieter, and I don't have enough room anymore to bring it down low. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna pull up one of these guys. There. We're gonna change it to 16. Yeah. And then
LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
I don't know what happened, but it offset when I clicked trigger.
LA is on fire.
Whatever, it works.
LA is on fire.
If my hi hats end up bugging out in the future, I know it's gonna be because of this. But we'll keep moving forward because it does sound good right now. It sounds how I'm trying to get it to sound. My vocals still sound better. It definitely sounds better with the EQs that we did earlier. But we're gonna do the same thing. We're now gonna listen to these. We're gonna have the drums on.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
Yeah, so I noticed right here on 700 is where my drums are trying to peak out a little bit. So maybe we could pull it back a little bit and like kind of tame it and put a little to give the drums some space because we already made some space on the drum end for the vocals. So now we should, it's just yin and yang trying to give, like we give and take. So now we took away. So now we're trying to give to the drums. Maybe it's down here. And I'm gonna check on these because I think they might be overlapping right now.
LA is on fire.
Yeah, this is at 500, and these guys are at 500 too, huh? Personally, it kind of sounds a lot better. Maybe there was a bunch of mud going like with them both of them clashing like this. Pulling back on both of them definitely kind of like cleaned it up in my opinion. So maybe that's what the song needed. Now, if I play it with the guitars and the effects and the impact, we'll leave the impacts muted right now.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
I think it's really important when you're trying to mix and master a track. You listen to the last drop because that's when the whole song's supposed to come together. That's your last chance to sell the final idea. And if you did everything right with the breakdowns and the build-ups and making people enjoy the idea in the beginning and then making them want the idea back at the second drop, if everything pays off, then you don't need crazy sound effects and all that kind of stuff to sell the fact that like, oh, this is what I wanted. We're gonna use this plugin that I recently just got. It really helps you kind of like hear stuff separately. So if I just play and we want to listen to just the low end, it does a really good job of separating that for us. When I listen to this, I'd like to think of like someone going to the porta potties while I'm playing and the song is playing. It sounds more together. right now we're looking for frequencies that like stick out to us in these certain sections. Notice that my kick is like very the tone is here. The vocals are sitting heavily here and the guitar's sitting here. We definitely lost the kick drum on this section. I like it, sounds good. On span, how are we doing?
LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
For sure.
LA is on fire.
So right now I really like where the track is sitting at. There is a master on the track right now. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna mute everything and then we're gonna go through everything again and I'm gonna master it again. Because we have been adjusting stuff and maybe things sound good right now, but you know it can always be better. And I do want to get the song out as soon as can. I like give it the final version out by the end of this week. This song isn't you know I'm just gonna put it out on all streaming platforms and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like I do have an EP coming out at the end of the month. That's something I'm more serious about. This is something I just made because, you know, I just needed to stay up one night. But before we get into that, please excuse me. I'm gonna go grab a beer and then we're gonna get into it. Cool. Still have a soda, so I'm gonna try to kill it and then I'm gonna open the beer. But for those that are tuning in, if you guys want to buy me a Pacifico, hit me up. I'll definitely will take some Pacificos. I'm a Pacifico man myself. Yeah. Let me know if that works for you. Oh, Samara. Okay. My bad. My job was texting me right now. All right. So we're gonna get into this, and I'll kind of go into like how I do things, as the stuff goes through. This is my master check. So let me start muting and closing, 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 muting and closing. Okay, cool. So this is my master check. So what it is, nothing like a fresh. I was eating lunch and I had the soda left over, but like so this is good. You know, I love eating food. I'm a fat ass. So this is my master check. Let's get into this. I gotta lock in. So what it is, it's you guys kind of saw it already. It's this guy. It really helps me kind of separate the frequencies. I don't touch the bands on it already. I think it has really good separation bands, and it tells you very good information with this plugin alone. The function I use the most is just clicking this guy just to hear the low end, the like you know I sometimes I could pull up an EQ and just like filter it myself, because that's essentially what it's just doing. Um, but just having this guy just kind of makes it one click away versus like having to set it up then click it. I don't know. It's just for convenience. I literally just go on all the things I make myself. I kind of make my own little instrument racks and stuff like that, and that's what this guy is. I should take that one thing I have off, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Where it's just an instrument rack and then all this stuff in there. This guy, so this guy, it's no longer in them. But he's still in my master. But let me get into. Okay, so we have an isolate. We have a span, trusty span. These are all free, by the way, so definitely go get them. So we have a span, just so I can see like my frequencies. Normally, I try to have like you want to get something that's flat or like going diagonal, that like diagonally going down. That's okay. Most of my mixes are kind of sonically going down. And then we have a U-lean, just so I can see what lefts I'm hitting at. Most people try to get it very loud. Other people try to hit certain numbers so they could meet certain streaming requirements. I just recently started thinking about that again, because I was really a part of the. It's really fun trying to figure out how loud you can make a song. And I noticed that I could get something to like -3, -9. Sometimes -6, trying to figure out how people get so close to like. I know someone who gets -2, and I'm like, how do you get that? And but it's just kind of crazy how loud people get stuff. But I think streaming platforms, they want like -14. So yeah, and then this guy, this pretty much just tells you if your song's in phase based off the frequency. So like if we pull up span, if your song is mono compatible, it's gonna be this way. If it's out of phase, it's gonna be this direction. You kind of want your song to be in phase. But the thing about this is that it's just telling us overall, if the song's in phase or not. And this tells us per frequency. So like if you see down here, it has like the frequency band. I think I could make this guy a lot wider. Yeah, so down here, it like in the lower end, you definitely want to see it more in phase, and it's okay if the higher end is less in phase, but definitely we want to hear the song in phase. So I'm gonna go and start mastering this. So we're gonna use this section of the song. When I make music and I'm mixing, I mix so quiet. I'm trying to get as much headroom as I can. I've already frozen and flattened the tracks, and I've already gone through it to make sure like my bass lines and stuff like that aren't overlapping. Like if you pull up my kick and you pull up my bass over here, my kick drum, my bass lines are never playing at the same time. And then on top of that, I still sidechain just in case, because I like this could come in, but I still want that sidechain pump effect, and you still get it, even though like it's not playing, and it just really makes sure like my music sounds clean. Because if I pull this guy right here, and we go up to my kick drum, and yeah, look, see, there's moments. Shoot. Yeah, if I zoom in a little bit, right, and we get this guy, and then we zoom up. If you look at the waveform when my kick drum is going up and when my bass is going up, see how like they're actually out of phase. Imagine if that's happening each time my song is playing. Then I will just have no bass, So it's just one way to protect myself, make sure my song is in phase, and all the top guys are doing it. And once I started doing it, it made so much sense to me. Like I could cut off a sound right before the next section happens, and it gives my kick that all the space that it would need to do what it got to do. Yeah. Um, but we have this. So what we're working with. Very quiet. What we could do is in this group section is I'm pulling down -10. Does it need it? No, actually we could. It only has -10 just so we could give ourselves some headroom. But the track is already so quiet. So sometimes what I do is although I might have a -10, I mainly have the -10 while I'm producing. While I'm mastering, I could take it off. It just depends on like what we think the situation is, and because we don't have a +10 on the beginning of the master, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm just gonna take it off and just leave it neutral. It's not giving any color to it. Nothing else is being touched to that, so I'm okay with it. First thing we're gonna do is mid-side EQ. Now I used to mix and master in FL Studio, and there's a plugin in there called Maximus. And in Maximus, once you parallel compress, you could actually close and open the stereo field. And I love that so much. In Ableton, I haven't really found as clean as a way to do it natively. I know there's plugins that could like help you out with that, and I do have a couple. But that was built into FL Studio, and that's something I do kind of miss sometimes. But here's my mid-side EQ. To those who don't understand what mid-side EQ is, essentially, it's an EQ that you're EQing the mono frequencies and the stereo frequencies. So like, look, if we just solo this is the stereo signal, and it's just what the signal that we're hearing is in here is pretty much the difference between the left and the right, which is giving us a stereo and an our mono. And honestly, the truth to getting a really good mono mid-side EQ balance going on is just to create differences. We don't want our sides and our mono sound leaving the same. Like we don't want the same EQ curves, because then we don't notice it. But the separation, because of the, if we see if you notice that on my sides I boost it, and then on my mono I like tame it down a little bit. We're gonna readjust them everything, but the separation of the mids and sides just by EQing really emphasizes it, and it makes your mix sound way better. And then because we have a mono signal and we're playing with the mono signal, that's the section that you care about the most, and the sides, that's it's all additive. So let's get into it. This is the mono. It might be quiet for you guys. I'm gonna boost this up 10. Right? So if we go here, cool. I think, yeah, we can get rid of this guy. And with the monos alone, you don't want to be doing anything too drastic. Like if I have it right here, if you look, I'm only really doing -2 on this specific frequency. Yeah, and then I know for a fact I want my high ends. We'll probably leave this one right alone. We'll turn on a new one, and we'll make it a shelf. I don't want, for my mono, you kind of want it more warm. To make it more warm, you'll pull back on the high ends. That's kind of like a nice little sweet spot right there. And again, it's only like 1 dB of a difference. Okay, so this guy could be a notch. Which is that guy? And we're gonna tighten this curve a little bit. Yeah, notice right there, these two spots needed the most taming. I think we're actually good right here. Maybe we could do a little bit of boost because we did take away, so maybe a little boost right here wouldn't hurt. But now if we go to our sides, and let me reset all these. There you go. So this is all reset. There's no frequencies down here, so let's just cut all that out. You know, right there should be cool. Based off the last EQ, this one, you know, yeah, so we took off a lot from right here. We didn't have sounds right here, so we could like even tighten up a little bit. These all sound really warm. You remember that we did boost around right here, so probably take away a little bit. That's okay, because I know for the sides I do want to be brighter. So that's not the one I was trying to do. Which one's this guy? Boost this guy, yeah. Probably not that much, but definitely make our sides brighter. And yeah, you know, this is we're only doing about +2, -2, and that separation really. See, if I mute it, they sound more like one entity. And that's the difference, the little differences that we did, just like make the mono and stereo signal sound different, and because of the difference, make your mix sound a lot wider. And we're just using Logic, like we're not boosting any mids on our sides. You know, why would we do that? We want a very mono. We want a very bright side for our mono signal. We want it to be warmer, so we just pull down. And these frequencies were just a little too aggressive. So that's how I'll do my sides, my mid-side EQ. This is kind of the harder one to go. Next, we're gonna multi-band compress, and this one is definitely gonna be the more interesting one to comprehend a little bit. 'Cause we're essentially compressing the audio based off the frequencies. So I'm just gonna initialize all of this because we need to redo it anyways. Cool. So this should be, you know, as if you open it. So when me personally, I like a very compressed bass. If you overly compress it, then you could get a very boxy master. So you do have to be careful. But definitely when you find that sweet spot, that the bass and the way the bass and the kick drum could be compressed sounds so pleasant, and I notice people will like that sound a lot. And as you slowly go up the frequencies, you don't want to compress as hard. So right now everything's kind of like set as if you just opened it. So we're gonna separate everything. So I personally like hearing. We're gonna like move the frequency band, and I just want to get right under the snare drum. So sonically you guys will hear it, but when we start hearing the snare drum, we want to pull back and just be under the snare drum. Yeah, sorry. You can kind of hear the snare drum kick a little bit. See, like it just pops out just enough. Next thing is we're gonna solo the mids, and for this one, we want to get under the hi hats and the rides and the crashes. So you're gonna hear them, and then we're gonna pull back a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so we're like just under it. We're like the mids is just under it because after we solo this is all gonna be high end. Yeah, so now everything's like separated properly. Let's see if this is recording still. Yeah. Now that we record like so everything's separated the way I liked it. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna compress everything. So we're gonna solo this, and what I like to do is a 2-to-1. So we're just gonna pull it down to this 2-to-1, and we're gonna start squishing it by pulling this guy down. Yeah, so I kind of like it right there. Now we're gonna do it to this band. Same thing. Negative. We're pulling it down, 2-to-1. Yeah, 2-to-1. So down. And this time we don't want to compress as hard. We just want to compress a little bit. And then same thing, 2-to-1. And we just want to start tapping it. Cool. We could leave it like this, but we could take it a step further. What I like to do is like now I start adjusting the attack and release. And if you bring the attack and release very like to the smallest number you could get, you actually start getting a little bit of distortion. And sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. If I don't like it, what I normally do is I bring it down till I start hearing distortion, and then I start pulling it back where I no longer notice the distortion, but I feel like I am getting a little bit of it. So I'll show you guys sonically what I mean, and then we'll go from there. So we'll start with the attack. Like, listen to it carefully. There's a little distortion in there now. So we're gonna pull back until I personally can't notice it anymore. It's right there. We're gonna do the same thing with the release. Yeah, so it'll be right there. And then now we do it to the same. One thing I do want to point out, the higher frequencies you go, the harder it is to notice it. So just do it to taste, do it to flavor. I did it kind of quick, just because I already did it, so I already knew around what numbers it should be around. But with you guys, definitely take your time with this. Don't rush that part. For me, I could just tell already sonically, like, oh, that's what I want, because I've been doing it for so long. But for you guys, definitely take your time. When you're sitting at this point, ask yourself, like, what is the song sounding like to you? What is it feeling like? To me, first of all, the song's still quiet. And then I should have said this earlier, but the point of a master. So during the mix of the song, we're just trying to clean up the frequencies and separate them. You're still doing a little bit of that when you're mastering, especially with the mid-side EQ. But the main part of the master is trying to get it to as loud as we can without distorting it and without destroying the integrity of the mix. So I should have said that earlier. But right now it still sounds quiet, and it's still like, I feel like the high end is pretty loud, especially at this lower volume. The bass sounds a little bit boxy. Maybe that's my kick. I was thinking if I like tuned my kick right. Let me get an EQ. What the hell's going on? Maybe it's not even.
LA is on fire.
Maybe it's this guy.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. So it still sounds quiet to me. The high end's pretty loud. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull down the high ends right here. -1. I didn't really notice anything. Let's do -3. That sounds a lot better. Maybe we could pull down the guitars, the mid.
Is on fire.
-1. That sounds a lot better to me. Let's definitely push the output to 10.
LA is on fire.
Well, first of all, let's get used to this volume again.
LA is on fire.
Let's listen to this compared to our original. We definitely lose some energy, but this definitely does sound tighter. So let's actually, instead of just boosting to boost the volume, let's actually try to get it back to what we lost. So I'm at +3. No, it's probably more.
LA is on fire.
Yeah, about 6. Yeah, and on average is
LA
-6,
is on fire.
6, 7, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, this makes sense. I noticed one thing is that our bass is a lot louder when we turn this off, but the energy of the mids and highs come more forward and they sound more glued together when we turn it on. So if you listen to it off, the kick and bass is loud, but when we turn it on, the presence of the instruments come forward.
LA is on fire.
I like it. We'll play with the time. I notice if I bring the time down, I feel like there's elements of like saturation. If I pull back, there's not as much. Yeah, I kind of like it somewhere around there. So what's next is we're gonna add some saturation. So maybe we don't even need this knob. So when you get this guy, maybe I should just delete him, and we'll get a new one. This is the black box. Bam. He was free for a little window. I'm not sure if he still is free. I see so many people use this guy, and they don't turn this button on. The saturation doesn't work if you don't turn this button on. Okay, so yeah, so you turn it on. Sonically, you could already hear the difference. It just kind of pulls it more forward. So what I normally do is I'm not trying to like, bam, I'm just trying to, just turning it on already does something. So what I like to do is I actually like to push 5 on all the knobs. So I'll push 5 here, and then here, we could push 5 again, and then here I start minusing. Well, first we'll minus 40, and then we'll turn this off and on. We're not getting a different like meter readout, but it does sound more together and more. It just sounds a lot more pleasant with the black box on. And if there is a dB different, let's pull it down another 5. Sometimes I like to turn on air. Yeah, having it on definitely sounds a lot like it does something to like the background noises. It just kind of like pulls it forward, like these noises in the back that are there. It just kind of like helps like bring them closer. I've noticed, and although like you turn it off or turn it on, it's such a small little difference, but that definitely goes a long way. Next we have a compressor. I'm gonna reset everything. Just looking at this, we have a lot of everything kind of seems uniform. Like it doesn't look like we have anything that's too crazy. So compressing this definitely feels a lot easier. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. A lot easier. It doesn't look like come up with my beer. It doesn't like seem like it's gonna be a huge deal. Cheers, everybody. So we're just gonna pull this down right now. Right now, we're just trying to tame the tips, We're just trying to control them, make sure they don't get too crazy. We don't want to hardcore compress it. We just want to give it a little love tap, Sometimes I like a mid attack, not a fast one. I've started seeing on the internet recently people like how the best way to describe it is how quick you the attack is imagine the wall is your parents saying like, hey, like I'm gonna butcher this so bad, but your parents coming into your room be like, hey, turn that down. The attack is how quick you bring it down from them like coming into your room, be like, turn it down. How quick you like lower it down, and the release is how quick you bring it back to full volume when they've walked away. That's a pretty good analogy. That definitely could have helped me when I first started getting into mastering and mixing and just using compressors in general. But yeah, that's the one way of thinking about it. Our peaks aren't all over the place, so we could definitely get away with like having something around here. I personally, last time I think I had a quicker attack, but right now I feel like it wouldn't be so bad with a long one. And then the release. This feels the most organic for the song to me now. Cool. We're gonna move on. Now we have a limiter. We compressed it, we compressed the top end. Now this is where we want to get the song. Now we want to get the song loud. So we have this limiter. I'm gonna start pushing it up, and of course we're gonna notice a loudness difference. So we're gonna start pushing it up. Okay.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
So we definitely are hitting the limiter now. At plus 17. Plus 18 is, or I think I'm gonna leave it. For the release, I'm just gonna leave it on auto. And we're gonna change standard to soft clip. Personally, I feel like if you at any time you could choose between like a hard clip, soft clip, or a standard or whatever, always choose soft clip. It just adds saturation to it that I feel like hardly ever hurts the song. Yeah, and the good thing is like at plus 18 we're not being limited the whole time. We're just those little like accents that do like pop, pop, just every so often, which is good. Now there's another limiter here because we tamed it, so we have a little bit more space now. We have a little bit more space that we could still push it. That if we just push into this guy, it wouldn't we wouldn't get the same effect.
LA is on fire.
Yeah, and I think 2 is probably how far I want to push that. Now if we go in here, we have this guy. And what this guy pretty much is, you separate the frequencies with these bands, right? And it lets you know if it's in phase or not, and then you can control it through here. So we're gonna set it with based on our EQ. So I want to put this around like 150. Or actually we could put it around like 200. Yeah, solo it. Yeah, we're definitely in phase, which is good. bass was already in phase without recovery. If I switch to this guy,
LA is on fire.
a little movement's okay. You know what? This guy actually, I just realized how powerful this guy is, and I think I want to actually move him all the way to, because I just got him. I didn't realize how powerful this guy is. So we probably want to put him before a mid-side EQ. Yeah, so
LA is
now we
on
got
fire. LA is on fire.
a little bit more movement's okay.
LA is on fire.
So we just don't want this meter to go past halfway. That's kind of like what I'm judging it on. So if we go here, our bass is just riding it, you know, nowhere near. And then this guy, our mid range, I'm okay with a little bit of movement here. This guy,
LA is on fire.
so we're gonna leave this on. See how with it off, it actually dips into the red. In my opinion, since it was naturally dipping into the red, maybe we could still let it be in the red. Maybe not go fully into the red, but like just touch it. Because by default, it was already doing that. We don't want it to be sitting in the red completely. So that's my thinking process. Is, you know, yeah, it's gonna make it mono. It's gonna make it completely stereo. So maybe you just want it to touch the red. Okay, and then now with this guy, you know, looks like this guy is completely in stereo. Damn, this was more in phase than this was. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm okay with this. This is cool. Yeah, and then we could just unsolo.
LA is on fire.
And naturally, that's gonna change these guys. But the main thing is that we have different EQ curves on these guys, so it should be good. Sonically, I'm not noticing anything different. And then if we go to this guy over here, our low end is staying in phase while our upper end is getting out of phase, and I'm okay with it. So getting back to where we left off, we had this limiter where we like started limiting and we started peaking, and then I pushed 2, which is fine. Now we go to this utility. This utility is here mainly just for this during the build-ups. If I pull this guy up, you can see that I just want the mix to get slowly mono, and then when it gets to the drop again, I just want it to like open up again. So
LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
and that's just there. That's there after all this because we don't want to put it before, because then all this is gonna affect that, and we're doing this as like a artistic artistic, and we're not trying to. It's not many. It's not there for the whole mix. It's just there to emphasize the drop. So this is just more of a stylistic thing. And then we have this limiter, which is also which A is doing the same thing where this is for stylistic choice. But B also we're kind of controlling the energy. So like right here we're at 0, and then right here I bring it down to -1. So when we get back into the drop, we're back at 0. So this segment sonically goes from 0, well, from -1 to 0. So you like it's such a small change, but it should help drive the energy into the track. And then once we get into this section of the song, we're back at -1, and then by this point we get to -2. So when we get back into the drop at 0, there's a 2 dB difference of like the build up to the drop, plus getting the song becoming more mono and then going into stereo again. It just really emphasizes the fact that like I'm just trying to like really push the energy. So I'll let you guys listen to this.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
That's great. That sounds really good right now. And then last but not least, we have another limiter.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
This guy is mainly here just so like we're not going over. This is more just a safety net. Nothing's being touched to it. Nothing's going on to it. It's just a safety net. Oh, excuse me. That's just disgusting. I burped so much on this. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, it's just a safety net. And then from there, the song is mastered. You know, we did like going through it. It's very simple steps and logical steps that we took to get here. You know, I just got this plugin and I'm just realizing how powerful it is. But this definitely helps us with our stereo. This is kind of like what Maximus and FL Studio was kind of saying, that it really helps us with our frequencies, creating the stereo width, and then mid-side EQ. Maybe I could put this guy after him, cause in FL Studio how I used to do it several years ago is that I'll like mid-side EQ, and then in Maximus it had multi-band compression, and in the multi-band compression it had in each band it gave you I was able to mono the bass and like open the mids and really have the highs as wide as I needed to be, and yeah, so maybe I'll have it right here.
LA is on fire. LA is on fire. LA is on fire.
it's all sounding really good. Right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mute my mic and I'm gonna test this on my speakers, and then from there I think the video's done and I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna play it one more last time all the way through. Thank you guys for being here with me, mastering this track. Let's say, so right now we like did everything and we did it pretty quick. So right now, what after this, like let's say after I mastered it, what normally is the next step in my process of making music is I mastered it. Now I send it to myself, so I have it on my phone, and then I start playing it in every setting that I can. I'll play it on my headphones. I'll play it on my speakers. I'll play it in my car. I'll play it. I work at a radio station, so I'll play it over there. I just really try to play it as everywhere as I can. I have a couple gigs coming up. I'll play it at the gigs. Mainly just so I could hear where it sounds, and then if I notice that in the club it doesn't really, like the low end is so loud, I'm like, I'll come back and fix that. Or if I notice that the high end is so bright in my car or whatever, adjust it and really get an idea of what the song sounds like in every setting. Because like right now we did it on my headphones, mainly because I had doing it with you guys, and right now I'm gonna test it on my speakers. And the thing is, you guys wanna like get so used to being confident in your equipment, whether you have really cheap equipment or really good equipment, it doesn't, it doesn't, you could, on the internet, you're always going to hear that you could use the most like garbage equipment out there and make some bangers. And that's 100% true. The thing about that statement, the thing under that statement is that like, if you know what a good song sounds like on your headphones, and let's say these are like $20 Apple headphones, like the ones with the lightning cable in it, and I have those are actually one of my favorite headphones to use. If you know what a good song supposed to sound like on that, then when you're listening to your music on it and it doesn't sound what your stuff is listening to on the headphones, then it's not a good mix. So it's like you have to be confident in your equipment, no matter what equipment you have, to get it what you have. And I've had these headphones for now 3 years. I have Yamaha's HS5s as my monitors, and I have a Yamaha subwoofer. I love these babies. Right now my new apartment's not acoustically treated, so I bounce back between my headphones and the speakers, and I listen to it in my car all the time, and I play it off my phone speaker, and I play it off my laptop speaker, and I play it off of everywhere I can, just so I could get like a true idea of where this song sounds like, what the song sounds like. And I'm lucky that I have a full PA system. Not everyone has a full PA system, but like play on the biggest speaker you have. Probably don't blast it, but just play it so you know what it sounds like. Really figuring out what your music sounds like in all settings, that's really gonna be the best thing for you. And it doesn't matter what you're like. I know a lot of people use reference tracks. If you notice, we didn't use any reference tracks. The biggest thing, if I could leave you with any information today, the biggest thing I want you to remember is that it's not that what does the other songs are doing. Yes, that's important, but the biggest question you should be asking yourself is, what is the song telling me? Every song is telling you what it needs. It might tell me something that's telling you something, but that's just because we, as a listener, as an artist, we're filtering it through all of our own experiences. We're filtering it through, everything that we've been through and everything that we know. And me, like, I'm constantly listening to like music production tips and videos, and there's plenty of times where I feel like I know more and I understand more than what the people are teaching me. I feel like sometimes these are just guys on YouTube just teaching stuff just to teach stuff because they want to pop off, and that's cool. More power to them. I'm not hating on them at all. But I noticed that like something that everyone forgets to ask themselves is like, what is the song asking? This song, when I'm listening to it, and when I play it over and over and over and over again, I'm gonna notice, hey, like the song snare drum is too loud, so it's asking me to lower down that snare. And you're only gonna get that. You're only gonna understand that when you listen to the song, when you enjoy your own music, when you play your own music consistently, and really, like, my music is honestly almost the only thing I really listen to at this point in my life. I still enjoy a lot of other music, and I still listen to a lot of other music. Of course, I'm a musician. I have to. I'm a DJ. Like, it's just part of my nature, and I'm still listening to other music. But my music is a big portion of what I'm listening to, and I'm always just trying to adjust a song and make it better and make it cleaner and make it 10 times better. So with that being said, I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna play on the speakers, and then we're gonna listen to it from beginning to end. And that's the video. Thank you guys for being here while I master this song. I'm definitely gonna do another master series. I'm gonna do a full on, like, hey, this is an EQ video, and this is a compressor video, and this is a limiter. I'll do that in the near future. Right now, I just want to keep building the confidence of recording. I noticed that I didn't record last week. I was kind of busy, but it's not an excuse. Like, I really need to be on top of this, and if I really want to make music happen for me, I'm grateful that it's already is happening for me, but I need to make it more. And I have to start putting in the work now. So, you guys make me liable for my own words. So, I'm here, thankful for being here. So I'm gonna play the song. I'll mute my mic, and then we'll get into it. So I think, let me go into this guy. Muting my mic is gonna be.